Hello NephilimFree. This video is about your debate with Kenneth Miller. Maybe the less important points first.
This is a little bit of a video clip from a debate held between creationists and evolutionists, in which you'll see Dr. Michael Behe, a microbiologist at Lehigh University, debating with, discussing something about Haeckel's drawings with Kenneth Miller, the one that I had this email back and forth thing with.
You say Dr. Michael Behe, but you forget to mention that Kenneth Miller also has a PhD and is professor at Brown University. This surely shows that you ignore facts which don't suit your view of creationism. Oh, you did mention doctor in context of Kenneth Miller.
I just recently had a back and forth with evolutionist biologist Kenneth Miller, who is one of the layperson evolutionists' favorite evolutionist witch doctors, evolutionist scientist, you might call him.
And this comes from a person who has not disproven Don Exodus 2's point that you are a high school dropout.
I'm going to provide the transcript of those messages. It was a series of emails, about 4 of them, back and forth, in which we have a sort of a mini debate about a few things.
You call this email exchange thing with Kenneth Miller a debate. You also claim that you have debated Per Ahlberg by writing a few comments, but you do not accept a back and forth video debate with Baruch or with others because you say that's not a real debate. Maybe you should stick to one view.
Now, Kenneth Miller brings up, Dr. Behe brings this up, that this is in Kenneth Miller's book, his biology book for high school students, and asks him about it. Kenneth Miller says, you know what, we've fixed the problem. Letters to the editor to fix that are off in the mail. But did they fix it? No, they didn't fix it. What they did was they put accurate drawings of the same of the embryonic stages of organisms in there. But the problem is not the drawings in this case. The problem is the idea. You see, this idea, phylogeny recapitulates ontology, is still being pumped into the minds of people today, and it's a lie.
If it's a lie, how do you explain the fact that the embryos of all placental mammals, including humans, form a yolk sac during their development? Why is this important? Because the eggs of these organisms do not have large amounts of stored yolk, and therefore their yolk sacs are empty. Nonetheless, the persistence of a yolk sac stage makes perfect sense when one considers that these animals are descended from egg-laying reptiles, in which the sac encloses a massive amount of yolk to support embryonic development. Not the idea was false, but the drawings, and this is fixed.
And the problem is that the way the evolutionists are dishonest with this and misrepresent things is that they use embryonic stages of various organisms that at different stages in their development. For example, they'll show a human embryo at X number of weeks, and a chicken embryo at a wholly different week into the embryonic development, and another organism at a different week in embryonic development, you see. And they pick the ones that they think look the most similar so they can make this visual similarity and line them up. So see, that's not honest. If they used images of embryos at the same point in development, that would be honest. But they're not honest, you see.
Can you show me a chicken embryo of 8 months? The duration of pregnancy differs between different animals and humans. Maybe that's the honest answer.
Now, when you read the transcript of my discussion with Mr. Miller, you'll notice he didn't respond to any of the questions I asked him, because he can't do that, because they discredit evolution. He chickened out of answering them.
Ho ho, NephilimFree. How do you call this, then? I challenged you to provide evidence for 3 little claims you made. The first is about the strata on Thursday. The second, that most Europeans believe in creation. And the third, that atheism is a mental disease. You didn't answer to my challenge, so you chickened out, right? Kenneth Miller writes, "Boy, have you got this one wrong. Once again, you've grabbed a sentence or two from summary reports of a scientific study and failed to read the actual paper. This is exactly what happened in your video about antimatter."
Another bit of science here. Scientists capture antimatter atoms. They've been looking for antimatter, dark matter. They claim that it's the cause of the universe. It's causing the galaxies to stay together because the outside of them is spinning 10 times too fast and they can't find a reason for it. So they claim there's all this dark matter out there doing it, right?
Not only did you confuse antimatter and dark matter, you also didn't understand that scientists first created antimatter and then captured it in a magnetic field to examine it.
Yeah, but you have to read things and pay attention to what you're reading to get the real truth of things. Let me show you what's wrong with this idea. First off, let's examine something. Scientists capture antimatter atoms, which they've been trying to do for a long time now, with labs all around the world. Look at all this multi-millions of dollars worth of equipment. They say they captured antimatter. Look, scientists have captured antimatter atoms for the first time. Right, they say they captured it. Now let's read down here and find out the truth. Did they capture antimatter? Let's see what they did. Let's see here. The researchers created 38 antihydrogen atoms. So what do? They create some, and then say they captured it. Look, they created 38 measly atoms of it. They created. By controlled environment, they produced it. They manufactured it. They did not capture it. They created it. And so here we catch them in a lie. They say they captured it, but they didn't capture it. They created it. So what do? They make some and then say they captured it. Oh, please. Read and pay attention to what you read when it comes from secular sources. These pathetic idiots catch themselves in their own lies continuously.
Your video was so embarrassing that you had to remove it. So who is the pathetic idiot? Because Kenneth Miller is busy writing an exam, and because you definitely don't understand the subject, there's no point for Kenneth Miller to continue writing emails to you. It surely is not because he's afraid of your questions. But NephilimFree, perhaps you can answer my question. If most people believe in creation, and you are smarter than Kenneth Miller, why isn't it you who is writing school textbooks?